This is a selection of problems from a geometry worksheet on circles and chords and radii and so forth. Radii are plural of radius. So this says, in each circle, O is the center, find the measure. It wants the measure of GH. It wants, I'll put it in red, GH. Whoops, why am I not drawing? GH, it wants that. Well, here's something to know, that if you take a radius of a circle, and this O to the edge is the radius, I can extend it, and it's perpendicular to a chord, which it is, it shows that 90-degree angle there, so it is in fact perpendicular to the chord, it cuts it into, it bisects it, cuts it into even pieces. So those two pieces are even, and in fact, I'll do that. And then if two chords are equidistant from the center of the circle, and you can see this distance is the same as that distance, so those two chords are equidistant, they are the same length. So this thing wants to find GH, and so if EM is 12, that is bisected, so KE is 12, that means FH is 12. They're the same length, those chords, because they're the same distance from the center. They're perpendicular to a radius. If I extend that radius, therefore it's bisected, so that's 12 as well, and so GH equals 24. That's the answer to that one. I guess I'll do this one too. It wants XY. Well, again, I have a radius. I can draw it like that. Even though it's cut off here, it's perpendicular to the chord. So this part is the same as that part on the chord. And this is I can use Pythagorean theorem, 12 squared plus x squared equals 20 squared. Or I can recognize, I'm thinking this is a 3, 4, 5, 3 times 4 times, no, 3 times 4 is 12, 5 times 4 is 20. And so this can be 4 times 4 is 16. 3 times 4, 4 times 4, 5 times 4. It's a 3, 4, 5. So by is 16. That means xb is 16. And xy equals 32. And both of those came from the fact that if I draw a radius and it's perpendicular to a chord, it bisects it. And now I'll just do a couple of these. I'll do number 4, and maybe I'll do number 6, because they're all the same. Suppose a chord, well, let's see, I think I'm going to need more room. So let me copy this one, and then I'll paste it. I'll copy pasta. I'll do this. I don't want to do a new one there, so I'll do this one. File, new, boom, and hold on. There it is. Suppose a chord is 20 inches long. So let me draw this thing. First I need a circle. Oh, that's not a circle. That's a hexadecachron, or a hexagon. I think it was a hexagon. Might have been a pentagon. Suppose a chord is 20 inches long and 24 inches from the center. Okay, here's my chord, and then there's the center, and this is, the chord is 20 inches and 24 from the center. So here's 24. Maybe this doesn't look drawn to scale. And then again, if I'm getting a distance here, I make that perpendicular, and therefore each of these are the same. And it says the chord is 20 inches long, so each one of those is 10. And then it says, what is the radius? Well, here's the radius. And that's going to be the hypotenuse of that triangle. So I can do whatever that is, x squared equals 10 squared plus 24 squared. Or again, I can recognize this is, what would this be? Well, it's not a 3, 4, 5. 5 times 2 is 10. So that would be 5 times 2. 12 times 2 is 24. 12 times 2. So this is a 5, 12, 13 times 2 is 26. So it's a 5, 12, 13 multiplied by 2. Or you can use the Pythagorean theorem, 10 squared plus 24 squared equals x squared, and solve it. But I just use a Pythagorean triple. So the radius is 26. All right, let me do this, get it ready for a new question. I'm only going to do a couple more here. I'll do number 6. I will copy it and put it over here so I have more room. Copy pasta. Suppose the diameter of a circle is 30 centimeters long and the chord is 24 centimeters long. I call it chord, but it's a chord. Okay, here's my thing. Circle, it's called. Maybe mine isn't perfectly circular. Here's that. And then the radius is 12. Radius, or 15. Diameter is 30. Radius is half that, 15. Okay, chord is 24 centimeters. If I take a radius, and even though it goes further, it's perpendicular, it's going to separate that into 12s. That's 12, that's 12. And then here's the radius from the center to the edge, and it says the radius is 15. It told me the diameter is 30, radius is 15. What is the distance between the chord or chord and the center of the circle? I want that. Well, I can say x squared plus 12 squared equals 15 squared. Solve for x, use a Pythagorean theorem. Or again, I can notice this is 4 times 3 is 12, 5 times 3 is 15, so this is going to be 3 times 3 is 9. It's a 3, 4, 5 multiplied by 3. So the distance between the chord and the center of the circle is 9. Pythagorean theorem, or recognize it's a 3, 4, 5 triangle multiplied by 3. 3 times 3 is 9, 4 times 3 is 12, 5 times 3 is 15. All right, I think I'll do 2 more. I'll do number 8. Number 7 is crossed out, and then I'll do one of those last 3. So maybe I can do number 8 right here. Find each measure to the nearest tenth. YQ, it wants this. I'll put it in red. YQ. Whoops, why isn't it drawing? Come on. Someone help me. You're watching the video, but you're not helping me. YQ is 10, or YQ is what it wants. Well, check it out. I have these chords, these 2 chords or chords, and they are equidistant from the center, 8 and 8. That means the chords have the same length, and since this is perpendicular, it bisects it, so this is 10, which means this is 10 and this is 10 because the chords have the same length and they're both bisected. So YQ equals 10. All right, and one more, let's see. I guess I'll do number 9, and then that'll be the last one. So I'm just going to do it here. I'll erase these other 2 to give myself room. I'll just go like that, because I'm just going to do number 9. It's a sloppy way to do it, but it's the best I can do. Okay, and then maybe I'll just make the rest of this white. So it's, everything is on an angle here. Hold on, I'll fix it. I'm going to fix this in a moment. All right, delete. Okay, so now I can draw this circle. This is the last one I'm going to do. And if you have any more on this sheet you'd like help with, just let me know. Suppose a chord or chord of a circle is 16 inches long and 6 inches from the center. Okay, here's the chord, or the chord as they say. I call it a chord. And it's 6 inches from the center. That would make that perpendicular. And it's 16 inches long. That makes that 8 and that 8. Find the length of a radius. Here's the radius. And that's a right triangle. I can do 6 squared plus 8 squared equals x squared, or radius squared. Or I notice this is 3 times 2 is 6, 4 times 2 is 8, 5 times 2 is 10. It's a 3, 4, 5 multiplied by 2, Pythagorean triples. So the radius equals 10. Just that easy. That's that worksheet. I didn't do every question on it, but I did a pretty good selection of the questions on it.